this cold December day.
So guys, let's jump right into these high-end holiday DIYs. The supplies that I have here for you will be these Dollar Tree miniature Christmas trees, and I picked up 4 of them, and they're just the same trees that they always have, and I got them in green. You can get them in white if you choose to. So we're just going to unbox them here, and this is what they look like. You won't be needing the bottom pieces, you know, to actually stand the tree up because we're making a swag. So I am just going to toss these pieces to the side, the bottom pieces that stabilize them, and I am just going to fluff the trees. There's no special way to fluff them. I just need them to lay flat because I will be hanging this swag on my wall. So I just fluff them out to the left and to the right. So next up, you guys, this is how we'll be connecting them, and I will be using these garland ties just to make it just a little bit more fuller, not to secure them or anything like that. I see these little spaces that, you know, where they're kind of skimp looking, and you can just see, you know, right through them. So I'm just going to take these garland ties and just tie them around the base, I guess you would call it, the base of the tree, you know, the center, the trunk, whatever you want to call it, and just try to make those areas just look a little bit more thicker and a little bit more fuller. You don't have to go too crazy with this step because you will be putting quite a few picks on it, so keep that in mind. So next up will be securing the 2 trees together, and what I'm going to use is a zip tie. Now, just depending on how many trees you would like to use and how thick you want your swag to be will, you know, determine how many zip ties you use. But I just used one for this project for this one particular swag. I also would suggest using some hot glue if you feel that that's not good enough. If you feel like it needs to be just a little bit more secure, if you're hanging it outside or a place where, you know, the wind could get to it, I would definitely suggest using some hot glue. Now, you guys, these are the picks that I am going to be using. These ones here that I'm starting with on the left are from the Dollar Tree, and they're just like frosted holly frosted berry picks, and it comes with quite a few branches, so I cut them in half. Also, I got this branch from Walmart, and I will be cutting it in half as well. All of the picks that you see here have multiple lollipops or multiple leaves, and I will just be cutting them in half. I do plan to make another swag that is going to be duplicate of the one that you're going to see right now. So cutting them in half definitely saves money, but also it makes sure that all of my, both of my swags are going to be identical. So next up, here comes the assembly, you guys. As you can see, my hot glue over there to the left, and I just put a line of glue down, and I'm going to put down this evergreen pick. It has a little bit of frosted leaves. It just makes the swag look not too artificial, because you know the trees from the dollar store are a little bit cheesy, a little bit artificial looking, so this just helps out with that. And it has a couple of pine cones on it too, which I think is a nice woodsy touch. So you guys, when it comes to the pine and the evergreen picks, I will be hot gluing those down. I don't mind that those be a permanent fixture of this swag, but you see the little lollipop pick that I have here. and these little candy cane looking picks. I am securing them with bread ties. I collect those throughout the year whenever they fall off of a bread bag, and just little wire ties. I collect them throughout the year because I know I'm going to use them for DIYs. Those I want to be able to change. I don't want them permanent with this swag. I'm pretty sure next year I'll be moving along to a different theme or one of the ones that I've done in the past. So I do want to be able to reuse this swag and to just add some of that year's themed pieces to it. So though, as I said before, all the ones that are themed for this year, the lollipops, the peppermints, the red and whites, I won't be securing those with the hot glue because I want to be able to move them, and just using the twist ties will keep them up there pretty securely. I'll be able just to cut the twist ties. You could also use what do you call it, you guys, those pipe cleaners if you want to make some adjustments to your swag so that it isn't permanent and that you can reuse the base at a later date.
It's the time of year, winter wonderland, a winter wonderland.
So now, you guys, I am going to make a ribbon for the center of the swag, well, a bow, using this ribbon. And what I do in order to make the ribbon is I just measure how big I want one of the loops. And when I find out how big and fluffy I want one of the loops, I simply double that. And that is how much ribbon I am going to cut for the bow. So as you saw there, you see I made these little loops. And I figured, you know, since I want one loop to look that certain way, I double it, and that is the length that I cut the ribbon. You could always measure if you want to do 12 inches or 6 inches or something of that nature, but I just go by the aesthetic of it. Now I also want my bow to be layered, so I'm going to use a second ribbon that I got from the dollar store. And as I said again, I'm not doing it like professionally or anything like that. I measure one loop and then I just double it, and that is how I get my measurements. So the technique for this bow, you guys, I got off of another YouTube crafter. She's so well known. She's been around for a while now, and her channel name is Olivia's Romantic Corner, I think. If I don't know the exact name, but I definitely will give her credit, and I'm definitely going to link her YouTube channel down in my description box. She calls this the Olivia bow, and it's super duper simple. As you all saw, I just simply I cut the pieces of ribbon that I wanted, and I'm just folding them. I'm just folding them into the center, and the little cuts that I'm making on the edges, as you can see right now on both sides, just those little edge cuts are just a place that I can either put floral wire, or you can put in a zip tie. And what I'll be using today is some pipe cleaners, and it's just a little edge piece, a little nozzle, I guess you can call it, just somewhere for your wire, for the zip tie, whatever you're using can attach to, so that it can stick to it. There won't be any slipping. And then I'm just going to fluff my bow like this. I hope that you looking at this makes it a lot more simpler than the way that I'm describing it to you. But this was a really simple bow to make. It is called the Olivia bow. As I said, I will link the original tutorial down in my description box. So you guys, as you can see, the middle of my swag was bare, and I left it that way on purpose because I knew I was going to put a bow there. And right now I'm just securing it with my pipe cleaner. So now that is done, I am just fluffing things out. And as you can see up there, there's a little bit of space where the two Christmas trees meet. So I'm just going to try to fluff everything out, try to fill in that little space there so it isn't so bare looking, and then I'll be all finished. So you guys, here it is all complete. Off camera, I added a couple of ornaments. I thought it was empty, so I just wanted to give it just a little bit more. So I just added some random ornaments that I had left over onto it, and I absolutely love the way that it came out. I actually made 2 more, and these cost me under $15 to make, and I truly believe that they look professional. You guys can tell me your opinion down below. So next, you guys, we're going to move on to zhuzhing up some garland. Now, this cost me $3 at Walmart. It is not lit up and it is 9 feet. It is not very full, but you guys, we are going to make it gorgeous, all on a dime. So here you all see I've got some leftover ornaments from the Dollar Tree. I had some pipe cleaners there, as well as some garland ties. So I just took this garland, I opened it up, fluffed it out as much as I could, and I started to add the ornaments to it. Now, the way that I'm adding ornaments to this is I am putting the ornaments on some pipe cleaners and just twisting around the base of the garland. It's super simple. You all can add any color pattern that you want to it. You know, just having a couple ornaments left over. All of them don't always fit on our tree. So this was a really simple project to make. I am putting ornaments together. Some I have a bushel of on the pipe cleaners, and some of them I just have 1 or 2 in different spaces. So I just wanted to give it some character and some dimension. I don't want it too matchy. That's why I am just, you know, getting different size ornaments and in different textures, some matte, as you can see, some shiny. So you guys, I'm going to be using these garland ties to tie my ribbon. Now, what I'm going to do with the ribbon, as far as putting it on the garland, I am going to be trying to give it a billowy and whimsical effect, and what I'll be doing is securing it, as you can see here, with the garland ties. So what I want to tell you when you're putting ribbon on your garland is to make it very loose. Have these large pockets. Don't make it too tight so that you can adjust it as far as having the ornaments around it or behind it. You know, you want it not to be tight, not to be I guess, you know, like a hard to maneuver, hard to work with. You'll want to, you know, fluff the garland in different pieces, as well as have the bulbs as well as the ribbon show. So definitely let it billow and not be tight at all. So what I'm doing right now is just wherever I see a blank spot where I didn't place any ornaments, that is where I'm going to secure the ribbon. Now, I'm not cutting the ribbon. I'm just, you know, leaving it on all together, you know, and I'm just going to use the garland ties to secure it in different areas. So once again, I'm just going to pinch it and use garland ties to secure it. Nothing fancy, and I hope that you all watching me, it's a lot easier than me speaking and telling you how to do it. Sometimes I just feel that maybe, you know, it gets lost in translation, but if you all can watch me, I think the concept is pretty easy. So you guys, I really was struggling a bit there to get that garland tie cut, but I finally did, and here I am just going to secure the final piece of ribbon, and I will be cutting it. I do want to tell you guys, leave a little bit of leftover, as you see here, hanging down past the end of the garland. I just think it looks nicer and neater that way. So here it is all complete, the ribbon, you know, in addition to all of the ornaments that I put together, and this is hanging over my patio door. So you guys, another DIY that I've made for under 10 bucks. So So you guys, on my second garland, I want to show you a similar technique. It's pretty much the same with only one difference. Now this garland is a lot more full, and I don't know exactly where this garland came from. I got it secondhand, dumpster diving. Not actually being in the dumpster, but it was some old things laying out. You all know I'm a military family, and when military families move, I go looking for things that they throw out in the summer season. You'll find a ton of stuff out in front of the homes, or waiting on trash day. So this is where I found it. And it did have lights on it. The lights don't work, so this cost me absolutely nothing. So what I'm going to do with this is take, after I fluffed it out, of course, I have taken some of these pipe cleaners, and I'm going to take the random bulbs as you see in ornaments, and I just place them in different places all throughout the garland. But what I'm doing that is different than what I did for the first garland is with my ribbon, I am cutting it in chunks. I am not making one continuous ribbon, to tie to the garland. What I'm doing is making it pop in and out with chunks of ribbon. So what I'm doing, as you can see there, is I cut, some pieces, as you can see here, and I'm still going to make them billowy. I don't want it to be too tight. I want it to be nice and flowing. And so I'm just cutting some pieces. And what I am going to do with those pieces is I'm going to put them in between where I put my gathering of ornaments. And so I'm just going to take my pipe cleaner, as you can see here. And what I'm going to do is just secure it down in the garland. Try to hide that bright green of a pipe cleaner, hide it behind some of the branches. And I am going to secure it, and then I'm going to take the other end and do exactly the same. So what is different about this to me is that I do prefer this method. The first one was just fine, but just doing this method, I just like how it pops in and out, and I feel that working with little pieces of ribbon are so much easier than working with one continuous ribbon. So you guys, we are at the end of my video, and I want to thank you so much for being here. I really hope my explanation and watching me make these projects on a dime was helpful and gave you some motivation for the holiday season. I hope to see you guys in all of my upcoming videos, and I hope you'll definitely stay tuned for the upcoming home tour so you can see just how festive these projects have made my home. I'll see you guys in the next one.